Welcome back. Are you struggling with frustration and business isn't quite going well and you just can't seem to pull yourself out of your negative mindset? You're not alone, and that is the focus of our call on the Sales Doc today.
Hi, my name's Madeline. I'm from New York. I'm just calling in because I'm struggling with a negative mindset. When it comes to my business, I sort of have imposter syndrome, and I was wondering if you have any tips about that. Thanks so much.
Madeline, you are not alone in this. It is truly one of the most common things that I hear from people is that they're struggling with getting their mindset in the right place. They have doubts, they have negative thinking, they have that imposter syndrome, and it really is common even amongst very successful people. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to blast you with multiple different strategies you can use in order to shift your thinking. What I love about mindset work is it's 1/3 of the success formula. So I tell this to my clients all the time and I talk about with my team. Success is mindset plus skill set plus action. And when you work on your mindset first, it enhances everything else. But you got to make sure that as you're working on your mindset, you're also working on increasing your positive activities that you're doing to create return in your business. You also need to make sure that you're working on the actual skills like sales, marketing, finance, all of those different things, leadership. So we're going to focus specifically on mindset today, but just know that this is 1/3 of the puzzle. So let's jump into some strategies that I find to be really, really successful. So mindset thrives on evidence, and your brain will believe the evidence that you give to it. So a lot of times when you're struggling with positive mindset and everything's kind of funky, you're feeding your brain a lot of evidence for all of your mistakes, all of your flaws, all the things that you're terrible at. And so what you're feeding your brain is this constant diet of negativity, and then your brain produces these constant emotions of negativity. In fact, there's a cycle that I want to share with you right now. It's called the tear cycle, which goes like this. Thoughts feed your emotions fuel your actions determine your results create your thoughts. So if it looks like this, man, I am such a fraud. If people knew how much I didn't have it together, they would never hire me. If that's the thought, what's the emotion? The emotion is that you feel like you need to protect yourself, you feel hesitant, you feel like you can't go after the big things that you need because there's a lot of just self-doubt. That's the emotion. Then you go to have a sales call, and guess what? You bring all of that self-doubt to you in the sales call, and now you take action that is just riddled with self-doubt, and the result is you don't close the deal, and then the thought is, see, I told you, you don't even know what you're doing. You're out here trying to close clients, you don't even know what you're doing. And so it feeds the cycle over and over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice pattern interrupts at each phase of the game. We're going to work on our thoughts, we're going to work on our emotions, we're going to work on our actions, and we're going to create better results. So let's talk about thoughts first. There's 2 ways that you can approach working on your thoughts. I recommend both. One is that you're going to capture the negative thoughts and then you're going to rewrite them. So if you have negative thoughts of you are so chubby right now, you shouldn't even be on camera, then you're going to write that down and be oh, I caught you, negative thought. And then you're going to rephrase it. I am strong, I'm healthy, and what I say is valuable enough to be on camera. And you're going to rephrase it into something more positive. I recommend that the positive needs to be stronger than the original negative because the original negative has been there for a long time. And if you want to evict it and replace it with a newer, more friendly tenant, that newer, friendly tenant is going to have to be way more cool than the original negative thought. So that's one way you can go about doing it. Another way is that you can write declarations for yourself. I have a lot of declarations that I say, and I use them in order to fuel my positive thinking. So one of my favorite declarations is, I have a strong relationship with time and money. The Lord blesses me freely with both because I use them to bless the lives of others. Another favorite of mine is, I am enough. I am giving enough, I am doing my best, and my best is enough. And I have a lot. I give myself internal pep talks on a regular basis. So Madeline, you might want to look at the thoughts. What are the actual thoughts going on, and what do you want to reframe them with? Then we're going to go into emotions. So specifically when it comes to like sales and your business, if your negative thoughts are around that, I'm going to give you some specific things that you can do. I'm a fan of journaling in order to shift emotions. So I'll write about the negative emotion, write all the reasons why I feel that. I'll read it out loud, which gives me the emotional release. Then I'll burn my papers, and then I forgive myself for feeling that way. So specifically when it comes to sales and business, here are some that are really helpful to get rid of. I hate bugging people because, and then write all the reasons why you hate bugging people. I hate asking for money because. Business is hard because. I am not successful because. I feel like a failure because. So those are some really common ones that people kind of get hung up with, and they feel that way. So write it all out, read it, let yourself experience the emotional release, burn the papers, forgive yourself. You're going to feel a lot better. But then you also want to focus on importing positive thoughts and emotions. So things like, I love talking to people because. I love helping people because. I love asking for money because. I feel happy and confident in my business because. And so you're just going to write down these things, and that will help to shift the emotions. When you start doing this, there's kind of this fear that like the negatives are never going to end, but they really do. You do reach a point where you're like, oh, now I feel better. There's nothing left. Like everything bad, I've written it out, it's moved on, and I feel really, really amazing. So you can then take that amazing feeling and you can shift it into taking amazing action. So my tip for action is give yourself a 5-day challenge. Sometimes when we want to change our action, like we try to change everything about our action and we try to change too much at once. And then what happens is we do good for a couple of days, then we fall short, and then we're like, ugh, I'm never going to be able to do this. So what I recommend that you do is give yourself a 5-day activity challenge. So if you want to, for example, change the way you feel about sales, that's where your negativity lies. I would give yourself a 5-day challenge where you're going to call a certain amount of leads every day. You're going to do a certain amount of prospecting every day. You're going to do a certain amount of follow-up calls each day. And you're going to set a sales goal within that 5-day window. That little sprint will help you to be able to get into action, especially when you're adding in the positive thoughts and the positive emotions. Now you take positive action, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to create positive results, which then changes the evidence that you send back to your brain. Now it's like, see, look what happens when you work on thoughts and emotions and action. You can do this. And it was fun, and you helped people, and they're excited, and you're excited. And all of a sudden, that result will fuel a whole new round of thoughts, a whole new round of emotions, a whole new round of actions. And this is where you can get yourself into a cycle that just continues to feed and fuel great attitudes and great behaviors. All right, Madeline from New York, and anyone else who can relate to Madeline with struggling with that negative mindset, there is hope. You can change. The thing that I love the most about mindset is it only takes an instant to change it, but you can feel the results. They are far rippling. So now that you know how to get yourself out of a negative mindset, the next video that you're going to want to watch is how to acquire customers without a marketing budget. I promise this one's going to make you feel good. It's going to make your bank account feel good. It's going to make your CRM feel good because you're going to have so many new leads coming in. So it's time. Go click the video.